We'll see how to fill this 2026 Manitoba personal tax credit return. And in some cases, if you are required to fill the worksheet, we will see that example also how this will be done. You can download the form from here. You can just search TD1 form for 2026 and it will get you to this page. Make sure you're going to the right canada.ca page, and here for federal I have made a separate video. If you have not watched, you can check that out. Once you come down, this is where Manitoba personal tax credit return is, and this is where the worksheet is. So you can download this printable and fillable, and you can download form from here. It's easy to edit both this tax credit return and the worksheet. Start with filling the personal information, last name, first name, date of birth. Enter like this, first the year and then following month and date, and then enter. So you will get this in this format. Then employee number, address, postal code, and if you are a non-resident, we'll have to mention the country of permanent residence, and then the social insurance number. Once this is filled, first line is basic personal amount. If your net income is less than 200,000, that is 200K, enter 15,780. And if your net income for 2026 is more than 400K, in that case, enter 0. And if it is about 200K, in that case, you'll use the worksheet. See, consider your salary is 250K, and here the income threshold is 200K. We talked about this earlier. So you will minus this 250 by 200, and that gives 50,000 here. And here it says line 4 divided by this 200K, that gives us 0.25, which you multiply by 15,780, which is the base amount. So when you multiply that, you get 3945 here, as you can see, and then you have to minus line 1 by this. So once you do that, you get 11,835. That is what you will enter here, 11,835. This is for someone who has 200K and above threshold. In all other cases, if you have less than the 200K, 15,780 is what will get entered. To age amount, if you are less than 65 year or older on December 31st, 2026, enter 0. And if you are 65 year or older as on 31st December 2026 and your net income from all sources will be 27,749 or less, in that case, enter 3728. And if you are 65 year or older as on December 31st, 2025, your net income is between 27,749 and 52,602. In that case, you will be using worksheet. If your income is more than this 52,602, in that case, you will enter 0. So let's see the worksheet if your income is between this to this. On the line 2 of the worksheet, here in the age amount, you see this maximum amount is given by default, and here the net income for the year is entered, that is 31,749 as example, that minus this base amount 27,749, which is again already given. So when you minus this both, you get $4,000, and from this $4,000 it will be multiplied by 15%, which gives $600. So this $600 is what will get minus from 3728, and the balance what comes is 3128. This is the balance which will be entered here, 3128, and let me make this 0. Line 3 is pension income amount. What is not included is CPP, Quebec pension plan, old age security, or guaranteed income supplement payment. In case you have a pension from company and whatever that amount is, here whichever is less, $1,000 or your estimated annual pension. For example, say your pension is 3,000, you can only enter 1,000 here, not 3,000. And if it is less than 1,000, say your pension is around $600, you will enter 600. If there is none, you enter 0. Line 4 is tuition education amount, full-time and part-time. So if you're a student at a university, college or education institution certified by Employment and Social Development Canada, and you will pay more than $100 per institution in tuition fee, enter your tuition fee that you will pay plus the amount from following condition that apply. $400 for each month you will be full-time student. $400 for each month you'll be part-time student who has mental or physical disability. $120 for each month you'll be part-time student who does not have mental or physical disability. Say for 2026, it's only for 2026 what you're paying as tuition fee. That has to be counted here. Say you are paying $400 and then you're also a full-time student. In that case, $400 plus this $400. That becomes 800 and enter 800. If you're not a student, in that case, make it 0. And next comes line 5, disability amount. Only if you have this form T2201, you will enter 6180. If not, you will enter 0. This form T2201 is the disability tax credit certificate. Line 6, spouse or common law partner amount. Here, enter the difference between 9134 and the estimated net income of your spouse or common law partner if both of the following conditions apply. You are supporting your spouse who lives with you. Your spouse or common law partner net income from the year will be less than 9134. Now, if your spouse or common law partner is not working, in that case, you will enter 9134. When they have 0 income, you enter 9134. Say if they have an income of $5,000, in that case, you will minus that 5,000 from 9134 and that will become 4134. This is what you will enter. So make sure you're doing the calculation correct. And if they have income more than 9134, just enter 0. Line 7, amount for eligible dependent. Enter the difference between 9134 and the estimated net income of eligible dependent if all of the following conditions are applying. So I had shown how to do the calculation in line 6. Calculation will be similar, but make sure these conditions are being met. First, you do not have spouse or common law partner, or you have spouse or common law partner who does not live with you and who are not supporting or being supported by. So this is the first criteria. The second is dependent is related to you and lives with you, and then dependent's net income for that year will be less than 9134. So you make the calculation and make the entry here. I am entering 0 here, and then caregiver amount, which is line 8, enter 3605 if you are taking care of dependent and all of the following condition apply. Dependent is your or your spouse's common law partner's parent, grandparent, age 65 or older, or an infirm relative, age 18 year or older. Dependent lives with you and dependent has net income of 12,312 or less for that year. If these three conditions are being met, in that case, enter 3605. And if there is no dependent in this category, you will enter 0. And if the dependent who meets all the criteria has an income which is between 12,312 and 15,917, in that case, you will use the worksheet. You will transfer here. For now, I'll keep it 0. Line 9, amount for infirm dependent, age 18 year or older. If you meet these three criteria, in that case, you will enter 3605. And what are the conditions? The dependent is related to you or your spouse or common law partner and lives in Canada. Dependent is 18 year or older. Dependent has net income of 5,115. So if it is less than this, in that case, you will enter this amount. If they have an income more than 8,720, you will enter 0. And if they have between 5,115 and 8,720, you will use the worksheet. This 15,917 is entered as base amount, and say dependent has $5,000 of net income, that will get minus from this. And even though the total should come somewhere around 10,917, I have entered 3605 because this is the maximum amount you can enter. And if it is negative, in that case, you will enter this as 0. So right now I am showing 3605, which is the maximum amount which can be entered. Then you will look at the line 7, in the TD1 MB sheet, and whatever that amount is, that you will enter. For example, I have entered 3128 and you will minus both of them. Whatever the amount you get, 477 in my example, this is what you will enter here. For line 9, amount for informed dependent age 18 year older, you will enter 3605 if you are supporting an informed dependent and all of the following condition apply. First one is dependent is related to you or your spouse or common law partner and lives in Canada. Second one is dependent is 18 year or older and dependent has net income of 5,115 or less for the year. If these three conditions are being met and they have this income of 5,115 or less, you will enter 3605. In case they have an income more than 8720, you will enter 0 here. And if they have income between this amount 5115 and 8720, in that case you will use the worksheet. Here in the worksheet you see base amount 8720, your informed dependent estimate net income, say whatever the income is, enter the true number. Once you subtract both, the difference what comes is line 3 here, and then you have to check what is the line 7 entry in your case, and the number what you see in TD1MB, that number you have to enter here. So when you enter, you see right now this minus this will be negative, and that's why if it is negative, enter 0. You see 0 here. If it is positive, then whatever that number is, that number will go here. I'm keeping it 0 for now. This line 10 and 11 is amount transfer from spouse or common law partner, and this is for the dependent. So here, in case they have not used all of their amount, in case of spouse or common law partner, age amount, pension income amount, tuition, education amount, whatever they did their calculation and they got, that has not been fully utilized because the tax what they owed was less and there is a balance. For example, they had this credit of $5,000 but they only used $2,000. In that case, the remaining $3,000 you can get this transferred here and enter that amount. So for that you need to know their credit. Same goes for the dependent, and once that is entered, you will total all of this from 1 to 12 and you will enter after adding up everything whatever the total is. Here in my case only one line item has the amount and that is what is entered here. Come to this last part of the worksheet and enter all the amount which you have got from here one by one, and then you total this. The total what you get here, you see, you have to then minus this from line 11, and if it is negative in line 11 you will enter 0, otherwise you will leave as it is and then go ahead with the calculation. More than one employer or payer at the same time, in that case you will have to check this box, and remember you might have already given this form to the previous employer. So in that case, if you have already claimed the credit, in that case you will enter the box here as 0 because you have already claimed, and all of these will remain as 0. If that is not the case, in that case just keep that unchecked, and then total income is less than the total claim amount. If that is the case, again you will tick this box. So in case there is any additional tax to be deducted, you can fill out the additional tax to be deducted in the federal form TD1, which I have made a video. You can check that out. And in case you want the reduction in taxes, again you can ask for the reduction. To make the request, you will have to fill out T1213. Once this is done, you will sign and write the date and hand over this to your employer, and from your end you are done.